Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. Hello everyone, I hope that I'm live right now, guys. If you guys are able to listen me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. All good? No issues with the audio or the video? Okay, great. Awesome, guys. Awesome. So, how was your day, guys? Great. Good. Okay, that's good to hear, guys. That's good to hear. Okay, so in our previous class, guys, we started with a little bit of React.JS, like just the explanation itself. Today we'll go on with a particular hands-on approach. Okay, so today we'll be focusing upon the hands-on practicality of React.JS itself, and that is what we're going to do. Will that be fine with everybody? Please let me know. Will that be fine with everybody, guys? Please let me know. Yesterday, no class. No class yesterday was hands-on. Hands-on is much more practical approach rather than theoretical. We'll be focusing upon practice itself. So that's hands-on. Okay. Okay, so let's get started, guys. So let me just share my screen with you guys first of all, so that you guys are able to see the screen clearly first. So share screen, entire screen, share. So you guys should be able to see the screen clearly, right? Are you guys able to see the screen clearly, guys? Please let me know. Yes? Okay, awesome. So is it necessary to join Campus Ambassador? No, you don't have to. If you want the internship certificate, you can. If you don't, then just don't. It's as simple as that, right? Okay, so let's get started, guys. So we'll be using something called as Repellent, okay? The reason why I'm using Repellent is because not everybody that is coming into this bootcamp has a particular laptop. So I want everybody who is attending the bootcamp to be able to practice and build what we are doing. So due to that reason itself, even if you don't have a laptop, you guys can use an online IDE that is like Repellent, in which you can do it from your mobile phone as well or your smartphone as well. You can code the entire thing. For those who want to do it using VS Code or something, you guys can also do that. That is up to you. But yeah, I'm just doing it right over here. Can I join that ambassador program along with my work? Absolutely, yes. There is no work in the campus ambassador program. But yeah. Like I said, Mahi, you don't have a particular laptop. You guys can use a particular mobile phone or something like that to work with as well. Okay, I realized it later on that Mahi is actually my friend. Okay, so here we are going to log into the platform first, and you guys can log in through a lot of different options available. I'm going to use my Google ID itself. So I'm going to use my Google ID to log in into the class. Okay. Uh, yeah, it is going to take a minute or two to sign into the Google ID itself. Once we have done that, we can start with our Repellent itself. So yeah, as you're able to see, I'm also using the free edition itself. I'm not paying for it, as you're able to see right over here. I'm in the free version, so you guys can also do it for free. You don't have to worry about that. Once you have entered into the platform itself, what we're going to do is that we're going to click on this particular create REPL button. Okay, or this particular plus button on the top. Any button that you're able to see with a plus sign, you can click on that. And from that, I don't want, I don't want, need to create more rebels. These guys started charging for the same as well. Okay, so because these guys are charging for the same, I am not going to use Repellent. I'm going to use Code Sandbox for right now. Okay, so we are not going to use Repellent. Repellent has changed a little bit. Okay, so we are going to use another website called as codesandbox.io. This is also very similar to Repellent. It works in the exact same manner, just that this is also free. So we'll sign in using Google ID itself. So once I click on Google ID, it should sign me in into the platform. Once I'm into the platform, then we can start with our, okay, yeah, well, I'm into the platform itself. Once you're here, you just click on the create button, okay, and click on React. We are going to use React.JS right over here. So it already has a pre-existing module, a pre-existing template for us. We just have to click that and just click on create sandbox. So it will create a sandbox for us in which it will come up with everything that we require to create a particular React app. And the best part about it is that it is already deployed. You don't have to worry about anything. Okay, you don't have to worry about anything about deployment or something like that. It is already deployed for you, and it is free, so you don't have to worry about anything, right? So on the website, as you're able to see right over here, we are having three separate channels that you are able to see on your screen, right? On the left hand side, it is showing all the different files and folders that are there currently inside of our sandbox. Okay, whatever different files and folders are there. In the middle, it is showing us a particular place where we are able to code. And on the right hand side, it is showing us the website. Whatever website that you are going to create, it is going to be shown on the right hand side. Now, this is very cluttered. Everything is coming in together. So let's organize it a little bit more itself. Okay, so what we can do is we are going to open this website up in a new page. Okay, so just click on this particular two button. Okay, there's a particular button on the top right corner of the website itself that has two rectangles inside of it. Just click on that and it should open the website up in a new page. Okay, so this is where you will be able to see your website that you will be creating. Right over here, now we don't require the website, so we can just close it away. So we are only having the files and then the code that we want to write, only the two things. What about VS Code? So for VS Code, I'll let you guys know tomorrow itself. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. About how to install it, how to do it. Do not worry. Right now, let's focus upon this so that we are able to learn a little bit today. And then for tomorrow, I'll teach you guys a little bit about how to install VS Code, how to get your React.js working on VS Code itself. So you don't have to worry about that. Let's now focus upon this. So right over here, guys, we want to start from the scratch. We don't want to start from a pre-built template. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete everything. We're going to delete everything, guys. So this entire index.js file, we are going to delete everything from completely empty index.js file, guys. In the app.js file that is here, I'm going to delete that as well. I don't require it. So I'm just going to right click on it and I'm going to select delete. Okay, I don't want this. So just delete it from right over there. Okay, I don't, the public folder has index.html and then the SRC folder has the index.js and styles.css. There are only three files right over here, guys. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, index.js, then you are having your index.html and then styles.css. Is everybody facing this voice issue, or is this just one or two people right over there? Is everybody facing this particular voice issue, or it's just one or two people right over there? Your voice is turning glitchy sometimes. I'll just come a little bit closer to the microphone itself. Maybe right now it should be okayish. There shouldn't be any particular problem right now. Is it fine right now when I've shifted a little bit closer to the microphone? Is it fine right now when I've shifted a little bit closer to the microphone itself? Yes? Okay, maybe I'm just sitting a little bit further away from the microphone, so it might have caused a little bit of issue, but I hope so that now everything is fine. Now, the code that we're going to do, we are going to do it inside of index.js directly. Okay, so simply we are first going to get our React.js. Okay, so React is a library that is already pre-installed in the background right over here, but you're writing a JavaScript code. So you have to tell JavaScript that, dude, in this particular code that we are going to write, we are going to utilize the React.js library. So we require this library to write our code. This is what we want to say to our JavaScript. Okay, to do that, we will create a particular variable. Okay. Inside of this variable, we are going to store the entire React library. So we're going to tell JavaScript that, dude, we require the particular library right now. So RQUIRA require, we require the library. What library do we require? We want a particular React library. So just write React right over here. It should be able to easily figure out that what library do you want. Okay, so here we want the React library. Now, why are we able to do this? Because we are using a code sandbox in which React is already installed for you. So you don't have to deal with any kind of installations or something like that. Okay? React is already installed. You're just letting your JavaScript know that we just want the React library right now. So it is basically going to get the React library and save it inside of React. That is our variable name, so that we are able to use it right over there. Network issue from your side. Voice is lagging. From my side, it is showing as excellent connection. From my side, it is showing, guys, it is showing excellent connection right over here, that everything is fine. There's no issues in that. The stream is healthy from my end itself. That is what I'm able to see from right over here. Maybe from your end, there might be a particular issue, because somebody is saying the sound is clear, somebody is saying it is glitching. So I'm not able to understand. Either it is a problem with everybody, or it is a problem with one or two people. Voice is perfect from my end as well. Maybe there is an issue from some people's end, because if there is one or two people as well who are saying that the sound is clear, that means that there is no issue. Okay, if even one person is saying that the sound is okay, then there is no issue right over there. I will suggest to reopen the video once if that's the case. Just reopen it once again itself. Okay, all is clear. And if there is a problem with, like, sometimes it is glitching a little bit, you guys can just ignore it. I think so. That is not a very big deal. If you are able to just understand what I'm saying, that is more than sufficient. Okay. So if there is some particular issue, like 1 or 2 seconds of issue, but you are still able to understand what I'm saying, then it's fine. Okay. So just don't worry about it. If it's like 1 or 2 seconds of an issue itself, just ignore it. Okay. Do not think a lot about it. Focus upon what I'm saying. Okay. Okay. So right over here, guys, like I said, inside of our index.js, we have got the React library right now. Once we have got the React library, the next thing that we are going to do right now is that we want another library that is there, that is usually used along with React, called as the React DOM library. What is the use of this React DOM library? We'll be learning in the next few days. Okay, do not worry about that. But right now, we also require that React DOM library as well. So we'll create another variable. We'll call it as React DOM. Okay. And we are going to require, require the React DOM library. Okay. Now, what is the use of that? Why are we using it? What is this React DOM? We'll be learning about it in a few minutes. Do not worry about that. Okay, right now we are basically creating a simple hello world in React.js. Okay, right now that is our aim. We want to create a hello world. We want to show hello world on our website using React.js. That is our aim right over here. The next thing that we are going to do is that we are going to use the React DOM library to render hello world on our screen. Okay, we are going to use the React DOM library to render hello world on our screen. Now, render is a particular word that basically means to show something or to load something up. Okay, that is basically an English word itself. To render something, to show something, to load something to the screen itself. So here, what do we want to render? We want to render hello world. So let's use that. So React DOM dot render, and render basically takes in two attributes right over here. Where do you want it to be rendered, and what do you want to be rendered? Okay, these are the two things that render takes in as an input. Where and what? Where do you want to showcase, and what do you want to showcase? Now, what we already know, right? We want to showcase hello world, right? That is our aim right over there. So we're going to use an h1 tag right over here, hello world, and we're going to use a closing h1 tag right over here. This is what we want to render. Now, what is this h1 tag? So this is a part of HTML itself. So HTML uses something called as tags. So HTML is a markup language. A markup language is basically wherein you use some extra things to express more, okay, to transfer more knowledge using the exact same text. A very excellent example of a markup language that you guys use on a daily basis is emojis, right? So when you're using emojis, you are having this, let's say a simple sentence. What are you doing? Okay, a very simple sentence is there. What are you doing? If I add a laughing emoji right over there, right, then I'm laughing, right? What are you doing right over there? If I'm using an angry emoji, then I'm angry. What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? If I'm using a particular smirk emoji, then I am teasing you right over there. What are you doing? Huh? So the sense is that I'm using the exact same sentence. I'm not changing the sentence, but the amount of knowledge being transferred using the exact same sentence is being changed. That is by using these emojis. Emojis is a type of markup language. In the exact same manner, HTML uses something called as tags to increase the amount of knowledge to be transferred. Here, the current tag that we are using is the h1 tag or the heading tag that will make the exact same text, hello world, appear big and bold on our website. That is the aim of this particular tag. So it has an opening tag and a closing tag. So this is the opening tag, guys, the h1 opening tag. And then you are having the h1 closing tag itself. And any text that is present in between these h1 opening and closing tag will appear big and bold. So that is what we are doing right over there. Okay. Um, right over here, guys, where do we want it to be rendered? Okay, where do we want it to be rendered? So if we go into our index.html page, okay, index.html page, there is a particular place right over here called as your uh, div id root. Are you guys able to see this particular tag, div id root, guys? Are you guys able to see this div id root right over there? Yes. So this div tag is like your tiffin box. When you go to school, right? When you were a child itself, you guys used to go from home to school, and your mother used to cook food for you, right? Now, what did she do? Did she just cook the rotis and just put roti in one of your hands and then hot curry in the other hand itself and told you to carry this to your school? No, right? What she did was she used a tiffin box or a lunch box. She used to pack everything properly inside of that box and used to carry that container. You used to carry that lunch box to your school. In the exact same manner, inside of HTML as well, there are multiple different tags. Sometimes you just want to contain these tags together. Okay, you don't want to carry these tags individually itself. You want a container, a tiffin box inside of which you are able to carry this particular tags. Now, when she used to put the roti and the curry inside of a tiffin box, used to take it to school, and then when you open up the tiffin box, it got converted into a particular salad. That is not going to happen, right? It is still going to be a roti and sabji itself at the end of the day. The same thing happens with the div tag. It is not going to change anything about what it is containing. It is just a container. It is just a tiffin. That's it. It's not like Maggie. Yes, Maggie texture, when you went to school itself, the Maggie used to become like a jelly sort of structure, but that's a different scenario. But yes, with div tags, whatever you are going to put inside of the div tag, it is not going to change anything about it. It is not going to change anything about it, guys. Now, this ID root is because of your roll number. For example, in your school, there can be multiple students who are having the same name, Shaurya, right? It is not necessary that I'm the only child in the entire school itself that has the name Shaurya. There can be multiple students that has the same name. So how do I determine a particular person individually? By their roll number. Roll number is basically unique in the entire school. No two students in the same school are going to have the exact same roll number. Everybody is going to have different roll numbers. Am I right, guys? Everybody in the school is going to have different roll numbers right over there. So you uniquely identify these students by their ID, by their roll number itself. In the exact same manner, on our website as well, on our web page, we can have multiple div tags. We can have 50, 60,000, 10,000, lakhs of div tags right there. How do I identify a particular div tag? By providing it with a unique roll number itself. That is what this ID is doing for this particular div tag. No other tag on the entire web page can have the exact same ID. It can have different IDs, but not root. Root is going to be the only ID that is able to identify the div tag. Okay. Um, so please do something about this prompt engineer ad. I can't do anything about it. The glitch is occurring very frequently. Let me just check. Let me just check what is happening. Let me just listen to my own stream once. That's all that I can do. Give me a second. I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to check the stream once. Guys, there is a little bit of lag that is coming up right over there, but I think so it is manageable. I was still able to understand the rest of the part. Like, because right now I can't do anything. If I try to do anything, the stream itself will end, and I don't want that to happen. Either I will have to cancel today's class and do it tomorrow itself, and I don't want that to happen because yesterday itself I've already cancelled one class. Because right now I cannot do anything about it. I will just check. I'm also connected to the internet itself. There's nothing else that I can do, right? So just focus. It is easy to use in that, I guess. So okay. So because I don't want to cancel a class due to a very small particular problem. Okay. So right over here, guys, right over here, as you're able to see, this is the div tag that is there, and it has the unique ID root by which I can determine them. Now, inside of JavaScript, the index.html page that is there, the index.html that is there, it is called as a document. Okay, the technical term for index.html that is there, the file that is there inside of JavaScript is referred to by the term document. So what do I want to do? Inside of document, I want to get an element. So where do I want to render my hello world? I want to render it inside of that div tag. I want to render my h1 tag that I've created hello world inside of this div tag. So to get that inside of document, I want to get the element by its ID, because using ID, I can uniquely identify that element. I want to get the element by its ID, that is root. That will get me the div tag. Okay, because in JavaScript, tags are referred to by the term element, and index.html file is referred to by the term document. So I'll just write right over here document dot get element by id. Okay, because I want to get the element by its id. What is the id that I want to get it by? Root. Okay, that is the id by which I want to get the element. So react dom dot render takes in two attributes: where do I want to render my stuff and what do I want to render. Okay, so what do I want to render? I want to render this hello world. And where do I want it to be rendered? So inside of the document, that is index.html file, I want to get the element by its ID, that is the tag by its ID. What is the ID that I want to get by? That is root, because root is the unique ID that I have. Save this. I'll go back to my website and refresh my page right over here. And I'm getting an error right over here, guys. What is the error that is coming up? I think so. Target container is not a DOM element. Target container is not a DOM element. Why is this coming up? Let me check. Did I make a particular error in the spelling itself? ROOT root. Yeah, this is also fine. Document not get element by ID root. I'll just remove this from here. Control X. What do I want to render and where do I want to render it? Maybe this will work. I'll just inverse it right over there. Okay, just like Akshay Kumar's ad. And now it is working absolutely fine. Okay, so maybe the problem that I had was that I had first put up where do I want to render. It should be what do I want to render first, and then where do I want to render it. Okay, it should be inverse. First what and then where. I remembered it in the opposite direction itself, because in Angular it is opposite, and right now I'm using Angular right now. So no issues. So basically, what do you want to render should come first, okay? And then where do you want to render should come second itself. So first we'll save this, we'll go back to our website, and as you are able to see, hello world is coming up to your screen. Okay, what do you want to render? So I wanted to render hello world, and it is coming up as big and bold on our screen, guys. Now, not just the h1 tag, I also want to render a paragraph tag as well. As the name suggests, the paragraph tag, whatever you put inside of it, will appear as a paragraph. Whatever text that you put inside of it will appear as a paragraph. So we'll put React right over here. And we'll put up a paragraph tag right over there, guys. Paragraph tag. And we'll put some text inside of it. Blah, 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 blah. Control S. So right over here, guys, I've created two particular tags. That is, the one is an h1 tag right over here. And then I've created a paragraph tag. So what text will be present inside of the opening and the closing paragraph tag will appear as a paragraph. This is what I want to render, and I want to render it inside of the root. Now, when I try to refresh my particular web page, I'll get an error. Okay, I'll get an error right over there. Let's see that. So if I try to refresh my web page, as you're able to see, we are getting an error right over here. It is saying that basically what it is saying is that you cannot render two elements at once. It is basically saying that you cannot render two elements at once. You can only render one element at a time. You cannot render two elements as one, guys. You have to render only one element at a time. Here what we are doing is we are trying to render two elements. We are trying to render the h1 element as well as the paragraph element right over there. What if there was a way inside of which I could put these two elements inside of a single tag, guys? I could convert these two different elements into a single tag. I think so. We have just learned about it in just like the previous 5 minutes itself. That is the div tag, the container tag. I can put these two tags inside of the div tag, and from outside, we are only able to see the div tag. We are only loading one tag itself, which contains other tags inside of it, but we are loading only one tag. So what that is what we're going to do. We are going to enclose this into an opening div tag and a closing div tag right over here. We'll close it at the very end as well. So we'll save this. So right now, as able to see, we are rendering two elements inside of the div tag itself. As you're able to see, we are rendering only the div tag. Now the div tag has two elements inside of it. That is not our problem. You asked us that, okay, you can only render one element at a time. So I will render everything inside of a div tag. What is the issue in that, right? So we'll save this. We'll go back to our website and we'll refresh our page, and everything will be absolutely fine. We are able to get our React as well as associated with it, as you are able to see right over here. Okay, so everything is working absolutely fine. Now, if you go back and see this, this is HTML code. This is not JavaScript code, guys. This is HTML code. This is not JavaScript code. So what is happening right over here? I thought that we are going to write JavaScript code right over there, right? So why are we able to write HTML code inside of JavaScript code? So this is where a particular problem arises, a particular thing I've not yet taught you guys, that we are not actually using JavaScript right now. Up till yesterday, whatever we were using, that was JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript. Okay, that is called as vanilla JavaScript because it is the purest form of JavaScript that exists right over there. What we are currently doing right over here is not actually JavaScript, but something called as JSX or JavaScript XML. Okay, JSX or JavaScript XML, guys. This JSX is a particular advanced form of JavaScript in which you are able to write both JavaScript as well as HTML together. You don't have to worry about anything. Okay. If you try to write the exact same thing in vanilla JavaScript, in plain old JavaScript, it will take you somewhere around 10 lines of code to just write this one line of code. This is just one line of code, guys. This entire thing is just one line of code. If you wanted to write this exact same thing in vanilla JavaScript, it will require somewhere around 10 to 12 lines of code to actually do that. And you don't want to do that. It will make your code way too complicated. So just to make things easier, Facebook came up with something called as JavaScript XML or JSX, in which you are not actually writing either JavaScript or HTML. It is somewhere in between. So it is not purely HTML, it is not purely JavaScript. It's somewhere in between so that it is easier for developers to write code. But this JSX code is actually not understood by browsers. When you run this, it is not as if your Chrome browser is able to understand anything. Chrome browsers don't understand JSX code, guys. Chrome browser does not understand JSX code. It only understands vanilla JavaScript. So, but we are writing our code inside of JSX. So how is this working? And the website is also coming up absolutely fine, right? The website is also coming up absolutely fine. So how is this able to work? This is able to work with something called as Babel. This is able to work using something called as Babel, guys. Babel is a particular compiler that is able to look at your JSX code, whatever you have written in JSX. It is able to compile that code down into pure JavaScript for you. So you don't have to write pure JavaScript code because that is very tough, very difficult. You write it in the simple JSX that you are able to see right over there. It's very similar to JavaScript. You don't have to worry. You just have to write that code. And Babel will take the lead to actually compile it down to vanilla JavaScript. That is what is being read by your browsers. That is what is being run by your browsers as well. Because JSX directly cannot be run by browsers. Okay. And this Babel is actually already present for you guys inside of the React library. Inside of the React library, Babel is already present for you guys. So you don't have to worry that, oh, where is this Babel coming in from? What is happening? You don't have to worry about anything. You just have to remember you are writing JSX code. That is not pure JavaScript. That is not pure HTML. It is somewhere in between. Browsers cannot understand JSX code, so it needs to compile down to pure JavaScript. That is, and Babel is present inside of React library. Okay, Babel is present inside of the React library itself. So you have to remember this. This is an important interview question, guys. So I want you guys to remember this as well. Will that be fine with everybody? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand everything up till this point of time, guys? Please do let me know. Yes. The next thing that we're going to see is that we are going to convert this H1 and the paragraph tag into a simple component, a very simple component, guys. That's what we are going to do. Now, if you guys remember, I told you guys that component is nothing else but just a function, right? Component is nothing else but just a function. So let's start by creating a function itself. Priyansh, it is not going to work directly into VS Code. You will have to install Node.js, will have to install React.js right over there. Then you'll be able to use it. In the meanwhile, you can use something like this code sandbox to run everything properly. So we'll create a function, guys, funcgin function, and we'll name it as header header. Okay, function header itself. We'll keep the H capital, header header. We'll put down the parenthesis. And this function is going to do nothing else but just return to us the entirety of the H1 and the paragraph tag. That's it. That is all it is going to do. So this function header will create a particular div tag right over here. And this particular function is going to return to us the entirety of the h1 and the paragraph tag. That's it. That's all that it is going to do. So this function header has only one particular property, that is going to return the div tag which contains the h1 and the paragraph tag. We can use this header component inside of our React render, React DOM.render, by just writing header header, and that's it. Done. You are basically rendering the header component right over here. This component returns back to us a div tag that contains the h1 and the paragraph tag inside of it. And that's it. You don't have to worry about anything. You already have the header component right over here. If I save this, we go back to our website and we'll refresh the page. And as you're able to see, there is no issues in that. Everything is loading in the exact same manner. Sanjit, I have already told that if you have any issues, please reach out to me on my email ID, shaurya.sinha@devtown.in. My spelling, you will be able to find it in the description of the video itself. And DevTown ka spelling is DevTown ka spelling, that you'll be able to find on YouTube. Okay, just reach out to me on my email ID. I'll see what is happening. Okay. Okay, great. So as you're able to see, we have created a very, very, very simple function. Of course, functions are not that simple. Our components are not that simple, but still we have been able to do that. Yes, we will be doing that, Neeraj. It's a very simple component. We will be looking at how to create their own files and everything, how to skip on data. So we'll do that as well. But this is a simple component that I've created just for the hello world stuff itself. Okay, so I'll stop right over here because I don't know why there is some problem with voice. Everybody is saying that. I'll give you guys the attendance right now. Okay, tomorrow I'll make sure that this is not happening anymore. There is some, I will have to check what was the issue today, because Wi-Fi shouldn't be the problem. Maybe the microphone is not working well. I will have to check that up. Let's see what happens. Okay, let me create the. I'm able to understand origin. I'm able to understand. That's the reason I'm cutting short the class a little bit early. But no issues. I'll check why is this happening tomorrow, and I'll put others as well. Otherwise, people are going to kill me today. I don't put in others right over here. So, or the attendance link is there in the live chat right now. You guys can start filling up the attendance at exactly 9 o'clock. The attendance link will be closed. Okay, so you guys can start filling up your attendance right now, guys. We'll meet at tomorrow's class and continue from right over there. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.